Welcome back, YouTube. I am Evil Squeegee, and this is DMPC, the show where I'm both the DM and the PC. I can say that really fast now because I've been practicing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, etc. Notification bell so you can see when we go live. Last episode, my father had tackled the monster as it attacked me in my dorm room and told me to run, and I ran, leaving my dad there. And it occurred to me that as we ran, we heard my father screaming, but then later on we encountered my dad again, and he was okay. So something is not right there. Something is wrong there. There is something yet to be discovered, I think. And we tracked the monster using its oily footprints and my dad's blood into the woods, and we got a phone call from my dad proving that my dad was okay. And then the monster tried to lure my dad away from the group, and it attacked me while my dad was solo, so it's proven that it wants me, not my dad, which is weird because I was present with the dude with the gun. I took damage, and again, I forgot when I take damage, I'm supposed to roll to see if my telekinesis fires off outside of my control, so we'll get that next time. And we left off, I was wounded. We were just at the edge of the woods, because I had gotten lost, but I had found my way back. We were just at the edge of the woods behind the dorm room. It was the middle of the night, and we were just deciding whether or not we were going to track the wounded monster into the woods and press the advantage, or if we were going to retreat to the dorm room. And I think that is where we left off, so that's where we're gonna get started here. Let's get this party started! So I think that Raymond is a cowardly character, and so he's going to act on his cowardice and regain a point of willpower for doing so for the first scene by voting that we retreat from the monster and get as much information as we can. Maybe look up the library, see if there are any local legends about this thing. And I think that Casey is going to agree with that, because they don't want to deal with a monster right now. They've already had to shoot at it a couple of times. So Ben is going to retreat as well, and a lot of us are going to go back to the dorm rooms. So our scene setup is we're going to the library to do some research. We're going to the library to do some research about the monster. I think the chaos factor is 5, and if it isn't, it is now. If you're watching on YouTube and you just jump from the last episodes of this episode, feel free to let me know in the comment section what my chaos factor was, because I'm setting it to 5 right now. So our scene test is an altered scene. What scene alteration is it? 7 to 10, make 2 adjustments. We just got that. 1, remove a character. And remove a character. Okay. So, Casey and Ben are going to stay behind and do some repairs on my dorm room. They're gonna duct tape over the window. This dorm room is in ill repair already. It's grungy, it's dimly lit. It's got a fridge and a kitchen, but it's dirty. There's probably a roach problem before I even moved in, and now that all my stuff is all over the place and there's glass shattered all over the floor, they're going to stay and clean up while I go to the library, and I'm going to bring a radio with me just in case. So, I go to the library, and when I get there, the library is big. The library on this college campus. This college is out in the middle of nowhere in Maine. The library is one of the bigger buildings on campus, and I'll head on in and I'll ask the librarian if there was a section on like local legends or what have you. and the librarian will point me in the right direction. And now I am going to make an academics research plus intelligence check. But do we have a natural dice? We have a strong hit from Marcos. We have a strong hit from Marcos, which means that we succeed. So we have succeeded in our discovery check. Do we discover something important? I'm going to call this very likely. An extreme yes. So an extreme yes means that we roll twice on the horror elements table. So let's find out what we get. Oh no, the horror elements table is 2 plus my 2d10 plus my progress track. My progress track is 16. So 7 plus 16. I'm not even going to do that math. I've got a calculator right here. It's 23. Strengthen leverage plus 1. Strengthen leverage plus 1. What leverage does it strengthen? The monster's blood. So we get strengthen leverage plus 1. That means the progress track goes up by 1. So we're at 17. So we learned something about the monster's blood. The monster's blood is going to be its own poison. Let's also figure out what else do we learn. No, I need 2d10, not 1d10. There we go. 3 plus 17 is 20. Lose protection plus 1. The empty dorm room is gone. So we lost the dorm room as protection, but we learned that the monster's blood is its own poison. That doesn't tell us much. Let's roll on the Mythic GM emulator table to find out what it is that we learn in terms of story. Meaning tables, elements. Gods, legends. That's what we're looking for. Legends. Let's roll D100. 7 and a D100. 26. So 7 is bestow and a 26 is defeated. So I think that there was a great warrior. There was a great warrior that lived in this area, and he was finally killed. There was a great warrior that lived in this area, and he was finally killed, and it is said that he continues to protect the area from supernatural threats to this day. And it matches, like, the description of the monster matches the description of the monster that we've seen. And its blood is its own poison. And so we will close our book with a big dusty thud, and the dust kind of kicks up because the book hasn't been read in so long, and kind of put the book back on the shelf and head back to the dorm room to communicate this information to Casey and Ben. I'm going to say the chaos rank goes down to 4 at the end of our scene. Do we have any new lists? Do we have any new lists? Any new threads? I don't think we do. We've reunited with Dad, so we can delete that. Discover the source of my telekinesis, earn a position on the track team, and uncover the truth of Mom's disappearance are our current threads. There's Peter, there's Peter Heath, the boy that I like, Benny May, the track team coach, Ben O'Neill, the estranged father, Casey, the PI hunter, A Shiver, and Allison Moody, the gas station clerk, and Roy, the gas station mechanic. I have refreshed myself on, there's no new characters, there's no new threads. I'm also going to say that we have learned the monster's legend, which is another leverage plus 2. It is time for a final confrontation with the monster. So I get back to the apartment with Casey. That's our expected scene. Is filling in Casey and Ben on the information that we've learned. Our chaos rank is 4. Our scene test is a 1, which means it's odd, which means it's altered. What is the scene alteration? Scene alteration is making 2 adjustments. Reduce or remove an activity. And, wow, could I roll any more 8s? Reduce or remove an activity and increase an activity. Okay. So, when I get there, reduce or remove an activity. Well, Casey and Ben were cleaning the apartment, so we can say that the apartment has been cleaned up. And they are sitting on the bed talking. about the monster that we have encountered and increase in activity. So they're talking about the monster. I show up and I explain to them the legend of the great warrior who to this day protects against supernatural threats. And they both want to know why I would be considered a supernatural threat. Now, the answer to that is that I am a telekinetic, but that's a secret, and so I am going to pretend I don't know, which means that I need to roll subterfuge, which I have no points in, so that's -1 unskilled. Manipulation 3 -1 is 2 dice. There are no unnatural dice, so I'm just rolling 2 dice straight up. I get a success! Hooray! But the PI probably has subterfuge points. And he's probably got wits 3, subterfuge 2, so he's going to roll 5 dice to try and detect my lies. Oh yeah, he knows some shit is up. He is on to me, but says nothing. And I suggest that we track this monster down before sunrise. Casey will agree. We've wounded the monster. I think we did a total of like 5 damage to it. I'm wounded. Ben is fine, unquote, even though he was screaming when we abandoned him to the monster. And Ben will enthusiastically agree to tracking this monster down and dealing with it head on. And so that is what we will do. I do not have survival, but Casey has survival, so I'm going to roll survival at -1 unskilled. That's wits survival, so I'm going to roll 1 dice to help Casey. No successes. Ben probably has a dot of survival and 2 wits. So Ben is going to roll 3 dice to help Casey and get a success. So Casey we've decided that Casey has 3 wits and 2 survival, so that's 5 dice. +1 for the assist from Ben. So that's 60-10 to track this thing in the woods. No successes. So I'm going to invoke the rule of success at a cost. And I am going to say that we do in fact track the monster down, but we track the monster down to a tomb, to a burial ground, to the graveyard. Oh yeah, the graveyard is the location that I had specifically prepared. So the graveyard, let's set the scene. We are tracking this thing through the woods. It is nighttime. It is the wee hours of the morning, so there's not even a lot of moonlight. It is dark. The woods are thick, and we are tracking. Casey is in the lead with the gun, stopping and checking it and viewing this thing's blood on the ground and doing that thing where like they crouch down and they stop and they like pick up some dirt and drop the dirt back on the ground. I don't know how that's supposed to help a tracker do their tracking, but it's totally the most tracking thing I can think of. And so it's happening. The foliage is like crunching underneath our feet. I'm wounded, so I'm kind of holding my bandaged arm as I follow in the rear with my radio. And finally, the radio starts to go off. And we stop. And the radio's not plugged into anything. But this we know means the monster is nearby. And we break through the tree line, and there is the graveyard. The graveyard is not a tended to active graveyard. It has been long since abandoned. It is overgrown. There's a thick fog that kind of like settles on the ground and rolls through unmarked gravestones that are kind of like tilted and jutting up out of the ground. And the moon is barely cresting down over the horizon as we step forward into this graveyard. And this scene is the final confrontation with the monster, so the monster is lurking in the shadows. And I'm going to say it has 60-10 stealth. It gets 1 point of stealth. I have wits composure of 5, but I have trained observer, which gives me 9 again, which means my 9s explode as well as my 10s. Oh, I get 1 point. Ties go to the defender. So if this doesn't explode into a success, which it does, oh yeah. So at the edges of the graveyard, there are these, the trees are kind of like escaping from the earth and reaching towards the sky as if they'd want to get away from the graveyard. And in the shadows, I spot the movement, and I stop and I point Casey at it. And Casey will take their flashlight and click it on, and it pierces the darkness, and eventually it settles on this thing, and this thing has a skull for a face and black oily skin. It's about the rough shape and size of a human, but it lopes on all fours, and it has long talons, and it's limping because Casey has shot it before, and that's going to be initiative. I think, so I have a question here. At this point, does Ben turn on us and betray us to the monster? Because remember, we abandoned Ben to the monster, and Ben was screaming in pain. And then when we found Ben, Ben called us on the phone, and we reunited with Ben in the woods, and Ben said that it just dropped him because he didn't know why. And I find that suspicious. So I'm going to ask the Oracle at Chaos Rank 4, 50-50, does Ben turn on us? Actually, no, this isn't 50-50. This is likely. This is likely. Chaos Rank 4. 37. Oh god, yes. Ben, my estranged father, is under the influence of the monster and turns on the group as soon as initiative starts. So we're going to go... This is something I didn't do correctly last time either. So we're going to get this... We're going to get this right. Chronicles of Darkness, the appendices, equipment, weapons... Ranged weapons chart. The rifle has an initiative modifier of -5. So Casey, whose initiative is +5, gets 1d10 initiative for a total of 3. I gotta write this down. Casey gets a 3. The monster has a total of +6. 1d10 +6. He gets a 7. This ancient warrior. Ben has a total of 5. It was 1d10 +6. 10s don't explode on initiative checks, so Ben gets a 15 because I typoed. And I also have a +5. So I get a 10. So it goes Ben, me, monster, and then Casey. So at this point, Ben, like I've pointed out the monster to Casey. Casey levels their gun at the monster. And Ben immediately turns to Casey and tries to grab the gun. There are grapple rules, right? Let's search for grapple. Not grapple. Grapple. Where are the rules for grapple? There's so many references to grappling in the book. Grapple. Alright. To grab an opponent, roll strength plus brawl minus defense. So Casey probably has 2 athletics, 3 wits, 2... composure, or 2 dexterity, so we're gonna say that's 4 defense. Ben probably is a firefighter, so he's probably got 2 dots of brawl and 3 dots of strength. No, he's 4 dots of strength, so that's 6 minus 2 is 4 dice to grapple Casey, and he fails. Ben fails to grapple Casey, so Ben lurches forward, no, and grabs the gun, or tries to grab the gun, and Casey lurches the gun out of the way. Then it is my turn, and I'm going to turn around and be like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm going to tackle Dad, so I'm going to try and grapple Dad. Now, Dad probably has 2 points of athletics, and again, 2 dexterity, 2 wits, so that's 4 defense, versus my brawl of 2 points and strength of 2 points. So I am rolling a chance die. Almost. That is a failure. I'm going to take a beat and convert that into a dramatic failure. So I dive for Dad, and Dad turns around and just shoves me to the ground, and snarls something in a language I've never heard before. And so I'm thrown to the ground, and I land on my wounded shoulder and roll around, and oh god, oh, the pain. After I go, the monster goes. The monster tries to tackle me. The monster we've determined has 6 dice. I have 5 defense, so the monster is rolling 1d10 to hit me and misses. I roll out of the way as the monster pounces from the shadows and tries to attack me. And then Casey finally goes, and Casey has 2 dexterity, 2 firearms, no willpower to spend, so Casey is rolling 4d10 to shoot the monster. Casey gets 2 successes, plus the 4 damage for being a rifle, so 6 more damage to the monster. Casey fires the gun, and a loud "Kroom" goes off and echoes off of the tree line and bounces back at us. But we know that this isn't enough for Casey to kill the monster, because the monster's weakness is its own blood, but its blood kind of sprays everywhere. Its blood sprays everywhere as the bullet pierces the oily flesh of the monster and burrows through, and like the entry wound is only this big on the side of entry, but the exit wound is like this big, because that's just how bullets work. And there's just a splatter of guts and blood all over me, because I'm the one on the ground on the other side of this monster, and the bullet whizzes past me. And then we go to the top of the initiative. It's Ben's turn. Ben tries to grapple again. Ben is rolling, I think it was 4d10 to grapple. Does that 10 explode? It does. 2 successes. This time Ben grabs the gun and starts to wrestle with Casey back and forth. It is my turn. I'm going to put my hands in the blood splatter and smear it all over my hands, and then I'm going to dive and try and grab the monster and choke it to death with his own blood on my hands. This is so many grapple checks. You'd think, you know what, next time I'm going to read all of the rules for grapple, but for now we're going strength plus brawl is 4 dice. The monster probably has defensive 4. I'm spending a willpower, so I'm rolling 3d10 for 2 successes, and this is enough. So I've smeared this thing's blood all over my hands, all over myself, and then I grab it by the throat and I try and choke it out, and it hisses at me with its skull jaw and its teeth, and it's right in my face, and I'm choking it, and I stick my hand in its mouth and I yank the jawbone off of it, and I start to beat it with its own jawbone to death. And it crunches underneath my fist as I'm pounding it to death with its own jawbone. And then I finally get more of its blood from its wound and smear it and smear it and smear it and stand up and back off. And it hisses, and then it explodes. It explodes in a shower of blood, just everywhere. And that is going to be a breaking point for all parties involved. It is gory, it is disgusting, it is supernatural. So this is another thing I did incorrectly last time. So we're gonna do this correctly. Breaking points, not in that chapter. I know what chapter it was in. There we go. There is a whole chart of breaking points, breaking point modifiers that I didn't see last time. So we're gonna use it this time. So I know that I have a base of 5 dice. I have integrity 7, which means that I get +1 to this roll. The character's protecting himself, +1. The character's acting in accordance with his virtue, no. Character's protecting a loved one, no, actually. Ben is currently under the influence of the monster. We're gonna have to tackle that in a second. Witnessing the supernatural violent, -2, so we're down to 4 dice. Yeah, we're down to 4 dice. 2 successes. I am okay. I am going to take the spooked condition again. Let me write that down. Conditions, spooked. And we get a beat for there having been a breaking point. What about Casey? Casey is probably going to roll the same thing I did. Casey is also fine. Whoops, that was 1d19. We needed 1d10. Casey is also fine. And Ben is depressed. Ben is a drunk. Ben is under the influence of the monster, so he has bigger penalties. I'm only rolling 2 dice for Ben. Ben also succeeds. So, I have a question. Does the monster dying remove the influence from Ben? I am going to say this is 50-50. 100 extreme no. Okay, so Ben is wrestling this gun. He's fighting with Casey. Casey is struggling to get their gun back from Ben. What are you doing? You can't kill it. You can't kill it. I need it. I need it. Ben shouts. And then I smear the monster. The monster explodes. It covers everybody in oil and blood. And then Ben lets go of the gun and runs off into the night. No! I need it. I need it. And Casey and Raymond are left panting in the graveyard, dripping in entrails and gore. But the monster's dead. I didn't even spend any peril points this adventure. So we are going to take a beat for the monster dying, and Casey is going to turn to me now that we are alone. I think it's finally over. And I will turn to Casey, and I will smear the blood off of my face and flick it off of my hand. I think so too. And Casey very seriously says, I don't believe you that you don't know why that monster was hunting you. And I'm going to turn to Casey, and I'm going to say, you believe what you want, man. I have no idea. And that is where we're going to call our first episode of the day. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the first adventure. I've got some bookkeeping to do before we start up the next adventure. So we're going to be right back after these messages. If you're watching on twitch.tv/evilsqueegee, where I record these live, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages.